Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be focusing on filter and conditional DAX functions. And by the end of this video, you know what they are and exactly when and how to use them. So we're going to be using the same data model that we used in the previous video, our sales fact table and our 3-dimension tables, the product, customer, and location dimensions. Let's get into our report view. So the first function we're going to be looking at is the calculate function. And the way the calculate function works, it works as a context manipulation function in a way where you can use it to define the context of the measures that you put into it. So first, we're going to create our base measure. So in the sales fact, we're going to go ahead and create new measure. And I will be using the total sales still. This is the sum of my sales. I'll close that. So first I want to add in a slicer and I want to add in region and I want to add in another slicer and I'm just going to put in the product category and put that up here. And now I'm going to add in a table just right here and I'll add in my total sales to the view. You have a requirement to build a report where you want to show the total sales for the central region, regardless of whatever region is selected on the table. So maybe, and this works great when you're trying to create like a comparison type visual where you want to compare the values for a particular category against all other categories within your report. How I would do that is this. I'll go into my sales fact, create new measure. And I would say central sales, and this will be equal to calculate my total sales. And I want you to give me where region is equal to central. Enter. Now, if I add this to my visual here, you see it gives me the value for the central sales. Now, what happens here is that no matter what I select on that region, and I'm going to push this out here, no matter what I select on that region, I will always have the central region. So this is very good where I want to see the sales for the central region against all other regions. It's just very easy to have this static and then I can go ahead and filter for every other region in the view. You can do this for anything. I can, define a customer segment in there. Now, the calculate function is also very, very rich. It's a rich function in the sense that it accommodates a lot of other functions. So you can streamline the measure that is sitting inside your calculate function based on a number of functions. And I'll show you an example. So if I go back into my central sales, now instead of just writing it out here, if I added filter to the view, so I want to filter the location where region equals central. And I go ahead and I close that. What happens is this now begins to respect the filter. So it's going to work if nothing is selected. So it shows me my central sales. If I selected central, it's fine. If I'm restricting this report to East region, it just doesn't return a number, right? So this can be useful depending on the scenario, right? However, if you're trying to do a side-by-side comparison and you want to keep one side static, you can just define that within the calculate function. We've crossed over into the filter function already. So the filter function basically works like a row level filter. And you can use it for many different type situations. For example, I can decide that I want to filter my sales facts, right? And I want to keep where the sales is greater than 20,000. I close that. And so it returns this. So let's see if we go into our sales and we sort this descending, we can see that there is literally only one sale that crossed the $20,000 threshold. And that's why we only have that. Let's modify this and let's call it sales above 10K. And we change this to 10,000. We can see that it brings that total sales, and the sum comes to 75,838. And if we come in here, we can see that it has simply just summed this, and this. So we're moving on to the all function. Now, the all function is amazing at removing filters. If you use the all function, you're literally saying, use all the data that is within the table that I just served you, and would check how that works. Let's add a new measure and call this all sales. And we're going to call the calculate function. And we want to calculate total sales for all sales. So all values within the sales fact table, basically. Now we'll click enter. I'll take out this sales above 10K from here, and I'm going to add this into my view. Now it looks very similar to total sales. The thing is, all does not respect any filters. So if I filter by category, and I'll move this down so we can see. If I filter by category, it doesn't move. If I filter by region, it doesn't move. If I add a date slicer in here, it doesn't move. So all will generally remove every filter or ignore every filter and give you the true grand total for that particular table in your model every single time. And it is very useful when you're trying to create percentage of totals. For example, if I say new measure and I wanted to create the percentage of total sales, for example. Now this would be equal to and I'll be using the divide function here. This would be equal to my numerator is, of course, total sales, and my denominator would be all sales. So if I put it in here, and let me add segments to this table, you can see that basically it shows me the percentage of total sales that each segment is. And what it has basically done is, this is my numerator and this is my denominator. So for every row here, it calculates. So for customer segment, it calculates the total sales for customer segment divided by the total sales. That's the grand total of sales to give me this 51%. And it does that for every row. So all will ignore every filter. Now there's a caution note with the all function. When I say it ignores every filter, it ignores every filter. So even if I were to drill down into furniture, so now I'm looking here and I'm seeing the contribution to total sales of the consumer segment that purchased the furniture category, and that value is 17%. And I'm just going to go ahead and, so we're not confused, let me change it to percentage so we see correctly. And that's 17%. And you notice that here, it's giving me the total for the furniture category. So the furniture category contributes 32.3% to the total sales. So this would not be 100. If you want this to be 100, there's another function that we can use, but that's going to be in the next video or one of the videos in this series. But this is how all can be useful. All will ignore every single filter within your report. Going on to the conditional functions, if and switch. Both are very good functions and they are useful in different scenarios. If is very perfect when you have binary decisions. So if I'm only picking yes or no, or A or B, or profit and loss, if is very good. You can do nested ifs within DAX, but it's not advisable, especially when you have a very long logic ahead of you. In that case, switch will be the better alternative. Let me show you how they will work. So I'll go ahead and I will delete this, remove. I will clear this. Let's go into our table view just so that we're seeing firsthand what it looks like in here. So we're going to create a new column and we're going to call it profit status. And basically, so if our profit is less than 0, we want to show it as a loss. If our profit is greater than 0, we want to show it as a profit. So we're just going to go ahead and write the if statement. If profit is less than 0, then loss, else profit. And close that. And you see it creates us a loss where we have a negative and then profit where we have a positive. And that is a very good use of if. Now, if we had a situation where we had more than one logic being presented, for example, say we want to put our sales into different buckets and all sales above $20,000 will fall into the ultra bucket. All sales above 10,000 but less than 20,000 would fall into the high bucket, and then all sales below 10,000 would fall into the regular bucket. How do we do that? There are more than one options to do that. In this case, we can either use the if function or we can use the switch function. Let's try using the if function. We'll go ahead and add a new column and let's call this sales segment. And we would say if, and I want to nest this properly. So if my sales is greater than 20,000, then I want you to be called ultra. Otherwise, if my sales is greater than 10,000, I want you to be called high. Otherwise, I want you to be called regular. And I will go ahead and do that. Now, I want it to be inclusive. So 10,000 and above, 20,000 and above. I'll go ahead and enter this. And we have our segment. So we see that we only have one sale that's crossed the 20,000 threshold. So that's ultra. All the 10K and above are high, and then the rest are regular. Now, say we want to add in one more. What about sales that are above 5,000 but below 10,000? Let's say we want to make another bucket for those guys. And we do this again. And we say if sales is greater than or equal to 5,000, let's call that high and change the previous high to premium. And then every other sale should be regular. It works, but you can see that our if statement is beginning to grow and grow and grow. And if we had more buckets that we wanted to add in here, we'll have to add another line of if. Now, in a case like this, it becomes easier to use switch. And I'm going to show you how switch works. We're still keeping the same logic. We're going to go ahead and create a new column. And we're going to call this sales segment switch. And we're going to call the switch function. And the first syntax in here is true. So what we're saying now is that perform the switch function if the value is true, give us the result. We want where sales, so if sales is greater than 20,000, we want to call it ultra. If sales is greater than or equal to, and I'm just going to go ahead and add equal to here. I forgot to add that. If it's greater than or equal to 10,000, we want to call it premium. If it is greater than or equal to 5,000, we want to call it high. And we want everybody else, every other sale to be low. And we're just going to go ahead and close that one time and enter. So you would see that it does exactly the same as this one. Well, we called this low. We used regular in the previous one, so we're just going to change it to regular. And you see that it acts exactly the same as our if statement, and it just looks neater, in my opinion. So you see the difference between how the switch function looks and how the if function looks. It's more straightforward, and I'm not nesting and trying to remember, oh, have I added the for statement, or is this still the true statement? Yeah, it just makes it a little less cumbersome to write your conditionals. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you have any questions or things that you would like us to make videos on, please leave your comments in the comment section and I will be looking at them. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. It's very, very important because you're going to be helping us make more videos like this one. I'll see you in the next one.